you know, 10 years after, I don't know what the hell they think, but when they're going through, that's what it's about.
So upcoming on April 1st, you're going to be doing a performance at CAF as part of your exhibition. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have planned?
It will be a collaboration or a mashup of sorts where I will create a short film that will be a composite of original footage, found footage, and some things I've been finding on old VHS cassettes. And from that film, it will be projected, and it will be soundtracked by a local gamelan group, which is Signia Surya, I think is the name. And they'll perform live underneath this projection as a soundtrack, as well as a DJ who I've worked with previous times named Jahi Sundance from Los Angeles, who also studied gamelan when he was in college. So it will be interesting to see how they all come together.
And that's a nice tie-in with the video in the exhibition, because that video has gamelan music from when you were in Indonesia.
Exactly. So it's as if we're taking this installation and remixing it even further, live, real time.
And you've done a lot of performance in your past. As a matter of fact, a lot of your work includes you performing the piano.
Sure.
And then you work with singers.
Singers, DJs, and I even consider my work, even one of the works in the show, the Constellation piece, is essentially a catwalk where people can walk on it and they become the performer. I don't consider myself a performance artist in the older sense, but I do think of my work as being a nexus point for viewer interaction, where they become the performer. If I am involved with a piece on a performance level, I try not to use my direct identity, but become more of a player or archetype. But I prefer using other people as performers and directing them amongst my sculptures or installations or scenarios.
How far back does the idea of a mashup go for you? I know that online right now there's a lot of there are a lot of mashups going on in all sorts of different departments. There are Google Map mashups, there are music video mashups, and all sorts of interesting things going on. Do you know a lot about that stuff? Is that something you riff on, or is that?
I check out some of that, but for me, I grew up playing piano, and my real performance has always been as a musician on stage with bands. But in the mid-90s, I guess, or early 90s, I started doing a lot of music pre-production where I was sampling a lot and making literal mashups with all my pre-production equipment. So the sonic mashup has always been part of my repertoire. Now with the accessibility of images and clips online, it's a different type of mashup, but I think it's the same spirit. But I think it's also a good indicator of what is possible culturally.
Right. I mean, there's the whole open source movement, which is it sounds like it's very much in line spiritual, or like in spirit, I guess, with what you're talking about, especially when you talk about your work being accessible to not just the Academy or not just the Ivory Tower, but really to everybody who comes in and might have a chance to connect.
But I think the concept of mashup is not new at all. I mean, it's the clashing of different sources and cultures has been, going back since the Greeks or, before.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And what you said about the scarification on the back being kind of appropriated in such a way where it wasn't so much something that just signified something negative, it also had this beautiful component to it. That really makes sense.
That's so many things do.
Yeah, I'm trying to mine that. In fact, I like that you said open source. I sort of think of my artistic process as being, I'm providing a certain amount of information. The rest of the information comes back from the interaction. And I can't predict that.
Well, your kitchen performance.
Yeah, it was
kind
totally
of
like that.
had that going on.
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation, absolutely.